Haverfordwest High School, as Pure West Radio helps to support Haverfordwest High Radio, the dedicated school station that they've got at the school. And I just absolutely love the effort that they all go to. Honestly, it's absolutely incredible. So it is the Haverfordwest High School Sports Day, and Haverfordwest High Radio members have been up there with me this morning for the last 2 hours. It's been absolutely class. Tom's now taken over, so I'm back here in the nice warmth of the studio. I can't believe it's middle of July. Absolutely shocking. So yeah, it's nice to actually feel a bit warm, get out of the wind. Now here on your daytime show with Ocky White Travel, we always have lots of wonderful guests joining us, and I've got Joy from Citizens Advice Pembrokeshire with us now. Hi Joy, always lovely to catch up with you. Welcome along to the show.
Hi Toby, thanks for having us.
No, absolute pleasure. So, I mean, first of all, I remember it as CAB, Citizens Advice Bureau. You know, you have been there and helped me in so many situations over the years. I mean, a wonderful voluntary-led organisation. Tell us a little bit about your role and what you do at Citizens Advice Pembrokeshire.
So I'm the office manager for Citizens Advice Pembrokeshire. We have our two offices, Haverfordwest and Pembroke Dock. And I started as sort of admin, frontline advice, and worked my way up. And I'm really privileged to work with amazing paid staff, but also a wealth of volunteers who are the absolute backbone of our organisation.
It's absolutely incredible. The work that those volunteers put in. I know personally so many people that have worked with you, and how many people in turn that you also help. It really is just absolutely phenomenal. And you're always on the hunt for new people to help you out and to support Citizens Advice.
Absolutely. So, you know, we're working right across the county, and as you can imagine, with cost of living crisis and energy crisis and pandemic, and you know, there's a real knock-on effect to people's health situations and their financial situations, their family situations, their housing situations, and all of those things will trickle down to us throughout the county. So we've seen more clients, our stats show, in the last 12 months than in the previous 3 years consecutively. So it's been all hands on deck for a good little while now.
That's absolutely incredible. It really is. I mean, as you sort of mentioned there, I mean, the support that you give, and especially during COVID, and you know, we've really come out of this now, but we go from sort of one global problem to another sort of quite localized to the United Kingdom, specifically here in Pembrokeshire with the cost of living crisis, and you know, just the general price and cost of just, you know, yes, living, but the cost of everything around us with the increases, and obviously the difficulty with various employments at the moment. You know, we're in a really difficult position, and Citizens Advice is ultimately where people head to when they're in these difficulties.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of the only free services that are available to people who are having these kind of difficulties and just need some advice on maybe what's the best next step for them. And what we try to do is provide the information to say, you know, you can make an informed decision with this information. It's just giving people the power to make that decision for themselves with all of the information to hand, you know, without, you know, having a knee-jerk reaction to things that they feel is really out of their control.
Yeah, and that's all you need sometimes, isn't it? Just that reassurance or that knowledge to go, right, okay, you are heading in the right direction. This is what you're doing. You know, have you thought of X, Y, and Z? And when all that comes together, you know, it's a wonderful support network.
And the benefit system is such a difficult road to navigate for people because it has so many variations and nuances, and it's very dependent on what your household income might be, or what your living circumstances are, what your family situation. You know, there's so many potential.
There's just loads of variables, isn't there? There's just loads of variables. This is it. I mean, because every circumstance is so different. You know, you may be cohabiting with somebody else. You may have split up. You know, it might be the children are going to be here for X days and there for Y days. And it's an absolute minefield, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just really important that people take the advice so that they know that they're getting what they're entitled to, and that they are, if there's any other kind of tag-ons or premiums or things to their benefits that they're not receiving now, that they know that they're available for them,
I mean, this is it. I mean, there is just so much support out there. The best way really is people just to head on over to the website, citizensadvice.org.uk, and get in touch. But there is a sort of a big shift at the moment, Joy, in benefits specifically.
Yes. So at the moment, we're seeing that there is now the managed migration process for people going from legacy benefits over onto universal credit. So those legacy benefits are housing benefit, child tax credit, working tax credit, income support, income-related ESA, employment support allowance, income-based job seekers allowance. Now, anybody who is on those benefits will start to be moved over now onto universal credit. What they should get is a letter, a managed migration notice, and that will give them a date. It's a 3-month period by which they need to contact the DWP and start their claim for universal credit. The problem that we're seeing is that people don't really follow the steps on that letter. They're not making contact with the DWP. And at the end of that 3-month period, their benefits will stop. So it's really important. And we would advise actually that they contact Citizens Advice Help to Claim team or their local office if they want to do that. But they will be led through that process then. And they will also be told whether or not they've got any kind of transitional protection on their benefits, so that they're not worse off going over onto universal credit. They're not financially worse off. So it's really important that people take that advice, that they act on that letter. You cannot ignore that. Your benefits will stop.
Yeah, and that's the sort of last sort of position you want to be in. Just by simply filling out some paperwork, it could all be resolved. And obviously, Citizens Advice, you're there to help people with that process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we want to make sure that people are getting what they should be, and that they're not missing out on any of these protections, and that actually they're not going to be in a period where their income falls short, or they're going to be any kind of hardship. If we need to signpost them to crisis support or emergency support, any kind of emergency provisions, food banks, or energy funding, then we can try and do that. So it's, please, if you're in that position, come and speak to us or the Help to Claim team, or give us a call at the local office, and we will do our best to make sure all those are sorted for you ahead of time.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And I mean, you touched on it there, Joy. I mean, there's, obviously you can help with benefits, but there's lots of other areas as well. I mean, you can, help with impartial advice for, various different issues that are ongoing at the moment, from employment to financial, energy bills. There's just a whole sort of
family.
Guys. There's just so many different things. I think what's important for people to know is it's free, it's independent, it's confidential, it's impartial.
Yeah, and just the clue is in the title. We're there to give advice. I like to say we're the miracle on 34th Street. If we can't help, we'll point you to somebody who can. So, if it's not our specialism, we would never try and advise you in something that isn't our field, but we will find you the person to help you. So definitely, if you've got an issue around pretty much anything, we will, if we don't know, we will find you the place to go.
Yeah, fantastic. I mention you probably like once or twice every month, when anyone's got a problem, I'm like, you need to speak to Citizens Advice Bureau. That's what they're there for. I can give you my personal experience, but at the end of the day, like you said, you've got, all this information available to you. You've got the knowledge. And if you don't, you can certainly signpost people in the right direction. So, you do an amazing job. Like I said, you've personally helped me out with many situations over the years. And, I can't thank you enough for that. What is the current situation with Citizens Advice in Pembrokeshire then, Joy? Where are there different outlets? What is the best way for people to get in touch with you? Do they need to make an appointment? Can they turn up? How does that work?
So we don't do a drop-in service anymore because during COVID, obviously, we weren't able to do that. So we moved over onto a local advice line. So it's a telephone-based system. People would call in. They'll be assessed over the phone to what we call a gateway. We take the information, see what the issue is. If it's something that needs an appointment, then we will book people in. But the issue at the moment is that there's such an influx of people needing help that we're booking sometimes 5 weeks in advance for appointments. So we would encourage you to get in touch. We'll try and make an appointment if we need to, but we also will just be able to do a lot of these things over the phone. And especially if you've got paperwork and things that we can help you with over the phone, then absolutely we will do that. And if you need to have a face-to-face appointment, then, we can book that in as and when it's available.
Wonderful. There's also so much information on the website as well. You can see it scrolling across the screen if you're watching us on the socials or indeed on YouTube. It's citizensadvice.org.uk. Joy, thanks ever so much for joining us here on the show today. It's always wonderful catching up and finding out how you're helping people in different areas. And just keep up the sterling work that you do. Lots of love to you all.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Toby. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Bye.